Now, I promise you some of the mistakes to avoid. We're here. You have all the answers. You've forgotten more than some of these people are ever going to know. And they're going to make mistakes. Sometimes they have to wallow in those mistakes. Sometimes they're going to come to you and ask for how to avoid these mistakes. That's all great. But if they've made a decision that you weren't aware of, try to avoid, once you find out about it, overturning that decision. Let them run with it. Let them run with it. See what the outcome is. Overturning their decision after they've made it and conveyed it should be a last resort. It should be the emergency. It should be that only in the case of leading to an absolute disaster should we overcome it. Let them learn from it. And then I always have to say this, it's my fiduciary duty. They're going to have successes. They're going to get complimented. Make sure you don't in any way ever take credit for any of their accomplishments. Be really careful of that. That'll poison this situation. Some other mistakes. Some of us are so results driven that in many cases, we're watching this person struggle in their development, and we just take it away from them, do it ourselves because it's the most expeditious way to get it done. It's got to get done. The old saying, if it needs to get done right, I'll just do it myself. And there's absolutely some truth to that. But when we're developing people, again, slow will make you fast later. Avoid that. Force yourself to back off. Otherwise, you're just not going to learn. Here's what they will learn: something that if they're slow enough and procrastinate enough, you'll just do it for them. And that's not development. Another mistake. It's all an underlying part of this is you have to be patient. They're going to learn at the pace they learn. If you believe in them, you know they've got the traits, the behaviors, the ability to get ahead. Stick with it. Be patient. Some people learn like this. I just hired a new executive assistant a few weeks ago, and everything she picks up on the first time, she knows it. She nails it. She's the greatest thing that's happened to me in years. But I've worked with other people in my life that it took a long time. In the end, they were really good, but man, it was a long-term investment for me. I had to manage my patience on this. I can tell you one of the mistakes I made early on in learning how to do this myself was giving up on somebody too soon, only to find out later that somebody else had the patience and this person got ahead, maybe with a different company. It's important to set a timeline, but that timeline can be flexible. Their development plan should be in writing, and I'm going to give you that tool if you need it as part of this. It needs to be realistic, and it needs to have some level of detail where that journey is, where are we going, and what are the steps for us to get there. And we have to be very clear about what the outcomes are going to be, what results we're looking for. I talked about the subjective, objective, what's going to change, what's going to improve, so we know you're improving. They've got to have that feedback. They've got to have that proof that this is all worth it. They're getting it. But you have to be very clear in developing them what's expected of them, what good looks like. That's sometimes tough for folks. One of the things I learned, when I retired from CarMax, I had 18 direct reports. I spent every Friday from 7 a.m. to lunch. 7 a.m. Friday, every Friday, I scheduled nothing else but one-on-one time with the folks I was working with in their development. That's how I did it. I have others. It's Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. It's Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Schedule those weekly. Weekly is my preference. Monthly at the latest check-ins. What did you accomplish in the last week? What have you learned? What are you working on? have that dialogue with them as often as you possibly can. And please put it all in writing and track it in writing. It really doesn't exist unless it's in writing. That makes it makes the level of commitment for you and for them much higher. And if you schedule these check-ins, please don't reschedule them, cancel them, move them around. Try to find a time that is unlikely that you'll have to change it. These meetings have to be a priority for you.